What's up, gang? It's Deluxe, and I'm back with another video. Today, I'm going to be going over how I made $1,400 trading the NASDAQ. Alright, so as you can see, this is my P&L for Friday, October 7th, being $1,415.92. And you can see I did take kind of a lot of trades, and I'm going to break down each of them and kind of explain to you why, I took so many trades, because normally I would only take 1 to 2 a day, but today, kind of broke that rule, but I think it was justified. So I'm going to explain to you guys why. So let's just kind of start out with what I thought going into the morning. So I tracked this in my daily journal in TradeZella. I was on pretty early before market open, around 9 a.m. I had no class or anything. So I was like, okay, let's see what I want to see happen today and write it down. So as you can see, I had this is on the 15-minute time frame. So I had these equal lows marked out because the equal lows are still significant if it is a swing low combined with a fair value gap. And also, we had this 1 hour unfilled gap, which, if you don't know, an unfilled gap would mean one that has not been tapped into yet. So it's unmitigated or unfilled, just like this 4 hour I had marked up here. So my scenario was we came down, we swept these, and then just pumped all day to this unfilled 4 hour, because high time frame unmitigated gaps are a pretty good draw on liquidity. So going into market open, I had kind of drawn out this low resistance liquidity up here, and I was either okay with taking shorts down to these equal lows because I knew they were a strong draw on liquidity, or just having us go straight down, take them out, and then go up for the rest of the day. So I was okay with either scenario, and you can see we did open kind of bearish, but then we immediately pumped up. So I was like, okay, I'm cool with looking for a short position here. So I was on the 1 minute time frame and the 30-second, and you can see we keep going up, we barely missed these highs, so I wasn't looking for anything there. But then we sweep the high of the low resistance liquidity right here, and you might see that we have Asia high above right here, marked with my indicator. You can see Asia high. Now the thing about Asia high, everyone knows session highs are a pretty good draw on liquidity. However, if we look at ES, we took out Asia high at 8:05 a.m. on ES, and NQ we didn't. So that would be an SMT divergence. If you don't know what that means, it means one indice or one pair takes out, a draw on liquidity or just a high, whereas the other doesn't. So I didn't need to see us come and sweep this high. So I saw it. I saw us sweep this LRLR, and I was looking for shorts down to my target down here. So I was on here. I was on the 30-second. I saw us sweep the high. We formed this fair value gap, and then bam, we went down so fast. Like, you can tell pretty easily from this 30-second candle like how fast we moved, but when you really see it in real time, you just know like we're gonna go down. So I was ready to take a trade like the second I saw this momentum down to the equal lows, and technically this trade is invalid for my model because you go break even at the first internal low, as well as if the candle closes after we sweep an internal low, it's an invalid trade and you can't enter because there's like no target to go break even at, like we already swept internal liquidity. However, my entry was a bit more in, and I probably still would have entered had I waited for the close just because of how obvious this momentum was. So that was kind of my play. And while I did want to target the equal lows, I thought to myself, yesterday, we had a play where we had data lows below, and we came very close to hitting it, except we didn't. We swept the low that we left off 930 and reversed up, hit my break even, and then we hit the data lows. So I was like, you know what? This is a pretty good RR trade. I'm more bullish than I am bearish. So I'm going to take out my entire position at this low right here. So as you can see, and I ended up going break even here, although it doesn't really matter because that's the next internal low. So you can see we go here, and then we chop around a little bit, and then we go hit my target. Now, you might see these equal lows, and you see we get within like 4 points of them, except the thing is, we just leave them and we go up. And typically you might think, oh, we just made an SMT with the low. Well, we actually didn't, because this is the low right here on ES, and we didn't sweep it. And luckily for me, I took out my full position here because I knew today was options expiry day, and also Trump was having some meeting. So I was like, I'm just going to be happy and take my win. So I did. So that was my first trade of the day. I made $550. As you can see on my P&L chart, that is the 550 right here, the short at 9.39. If we go to our next one at 10.36, I'll show you what happened. I was still looking for these equal lows to be swept before I really could validate longs, because they're just such a good draw on liquidity. I don't really want to take a long because there's a high chance we will come back down to them. So as you can see, we kind of swept, this high up here, chopped around a little bit. Then we started going down a bit. We inversed these bullish gaps right here, as you can see, 10.34. I believe what I ended up doing was just taking a trade off of this, setting my stop at the swing high and looking to target the equal lows, because now we made relative equal lows. That's a really good draw on liquidity as well. So I took my entry and I went break even here because we swept the internal low, and I got break even. That would be the next one where I lost 90 cents. Going to the next trade being at 10.45. So 1 minute, my kind of idea here was we re-tapped into this 5-minute gap up here, right? And we had a very bearish reaction. You can see we tapped into it and immediately went down. So that's usually a good sign. And then we had this V shape inverse right here. So I was kind of thinking of this as more of a confirmation setup where, we have the smart money reversal up here, and then we continue down to our sell side targets. So this was the idea here. And you can see I entered. And now if we look back at the screenshot, you can see I entered long and I lost $100. So I accidentally clicked buy instead of short for like a couple seconds, and then I closed the trade like as soon as I noticed. It took me a little bit, but I closed the trade and then I entered short. But you can see it doesn't matter because we immediately pumped back up, reset this high, stopped me out, and then we continued lower. Now, I was down 100 on the day. You can see I had a 550 loss, or 550 win, 550-ish loss, and then a $100 loss. So I was down about 100, and I knew that my evaluation account that I'm on was expiring on the 19th. I had a couple free resets because I had never blew the account. I've had really low trade frequency in the past couple of weeks just because of school and, not really being able to be on the charts. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to reset the account with my free reset since it's expiring soon anyways, and just take kind of like a heavy trade I had conviction in. So that was my goal. I was going to risk about 1,000 on the trade because it was an eval that was expiring soon. Now you can see we came down after this. I wasn't in any position there. We had a little bit of like this 3-minute V shape, although the 4-minute, I believe, was holding for a bit. And then we just immediately tapped back into this where was it? It was a series of 3-minute gaps right here. We tapped back into this. There wasn't an SMT or anything, but it was kind of obvious that we were just like trending downwards, right? Towards these equal lows. So I was like, okay, if this 3-minute inverses, I'm going to take a short and just hold my position down to the equal lows because I had conviction. Now I saw this candle just continuously print downwards, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to get in before the close. So I got in around here, stop at the close above this, and I was targeting the equal lows. And the risk I just entered with one mini, it ended up being around $1,300 risk, which I was fine with. So I entered and I just held. I just held my position. Typically, you would go break even here. I didn't. I just waited for us to hit my target because I had so much conviction in it. So you can see we kind of come back up, tap back into the gaps, and continue lower. We just honestly chop around a bit while continuing downwards. So I was like, whatever, like this account doesn't really matter to me, so I'm just going to keep holding. And I think my entry is more like here. But that's what I did. Now you can see we left equal lows again. Now the thing is, the account that I was on, the core account on my funded futures, the rules for a 50K core account on the evaluation is there's a 50% consistency rule. So if the profit target is 3,000, you can't make more than half of that in a single day, I believe, or a single trade. I don't know, one or the other. Either way, the max I could make on that trade was 1,500 because that's half of 3,000. So the thing is, I ended up hitting 1,500 around here. So I was like, well, I'm just going to close the trade because I hit my profit target. And the thing is, everyone else who took this trade or were in shorts to these equal lows, because it's such a good draw on liquidity, it missed the target. And we never ended up hitting it. We continued to go higher, and we just left these. No SMT with ES, if we look back at it. Never swept them. And everyone else probably got break even, maybe even took a loss. I don't know. But I secured $1,500, which if I pull this screenshot back up, you can see that's the $1,500 right there on that reset account. So now my eval is at 50,000 or 51,500, and I just have to make another 1,500 and I'll pass the account. And obviously I broke a lot of rules, because one of my rules is, firstly, if you make more than 1R in a day, you should be getting off the charts. I made 550 on a single trade, so I should have hopped off, but I didn't, and that cost me to lose more than I made. And that's exactly why you should hop off after a win. So I over risked technically for this one because I was risking, 1,000 or something, when my risk is typically like 250, 300, or on the eval it's been 500, but on like a funded I would only do like 300. So I over leveraged breaking the rule. I over traded breaking my rules, especially on a less probable day like options expiry, which, if you don't know, is the third Friday of every month, and it's typically seen as less probable, which is most likely why we just left these equal lows, because when would we normally do that? Literally never. So I hope you guys enjoyed kind of my analysis of the day, learned what you should probably not do as a trader, but also maybe some new things that you didn't really know about, and kind of just an insight on my journey, how it's been the last 8 months. So as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, follow my TikTok and my Instagram, and I'll see you guys in the next one.